So this is not at all what we imagined this video would be like before we set off on what was supposed to be a once-in-a-lifetime diving trip of Thailand's Similan Islands. A few days before all of this happened, we boarded the Manta Queen 5 for a 5-day liveaboard trip of the Similan National Park, where we would eat, sleep and dive from a boat, exploring the famous underwater world of this national park.
I have a good feeling about this liveaboard.
We had a blast during the first few days. The boat was great, the crew took excellent care of us and the diving was beautiful. Until on day 4, about 12 dives into the trip, Naick started complaining about pain in his left shoulder and a slight numbness in his left arm. He was going to skip the next dive just in case it was something dive related. And thank goodness he did.
So after the last dive I had some pain in my shoulder, which got worse after about 1.5–2 hours after the dive, which is a sign of decompression sickness, what you can get from diving, which can be harmful to your body. And treatment is starting with oxygen and then see what happens. So let's do this.
So what exactly is decompression illness? When you go diving, the pressure at depth is higher than at the surface. This means that the air you breathe from your dive tank is compressed, and therefore you inhale more air when diving than you would at the surface. Air not only contains oxygen but also nitrogen, and having lots of nitrogen build up in your body can cause problems as you ascend back to the surface. At depth, due to the higher pressure, nitrogen simply dissolves in your body. But as you ascend, pressure decreases and nitrogen can start to form bubbles in your tissues and bloodstream, triggering problems. This typically happens when people stay at depth for too long or ascend too quickly, but like in Naick's case, even if you follow normal diving protocol, there is still a very small risk that you could get decompression illness.
He is very comfortable in our little humble abode. Backpacks, safety vests, ball of oxygen right here. And best thing of all, he has me to keep him company. He skipped the last dive that we did, last dive of the day, the 4th dive. He skipped it because he had a little bit of a pain in his shoulder and he was like, nah, better to skip it than to be sorry. It's not entirely likely that it's going to be decompression sickness if you've seen how it is that we have to get out of the water here. The waves can be pretty rough. And everyone has banged their shoulder or their head, or in my case, like every single part of your body against that ladder at some point. These are all from my friendly encounters with the ladder. So no need to worry, it's just a precaution, but better safe than sorry.
Whilst breathing the oxygen, Naick's symptoms improved and we took a small break to get dinner. Within 10 minutes of being off oxygen, the pain and numbness in Naick's shoulder and arm started coming back worse than before. Symptoms that improve when on oxygen and then worsen shortly after coming off it, that could really only mean one thing.
Alright, so about, I think an hour, maybe an hour and a half later now. Status update, we have been upgraded to a bigger bottle.
We've had contact with insurance company and the hyperbaric chamber here. They've confirmed that there's pretty clear symptoms of decompression sickness. Unfortunately, the weather is really bad and we're at the middle of the sea somewhere, hiding behind an island, which means I cannot be evacuated at the moment.
It's 8 p.m.
It's 8 p.m. now. I have to wait until tomorrow 5 or 6 a.m., which really sucks because time is very important. I mean, it's like an injury that you have inside your body, and the longer you wait with treating it, potentially worse it gets, and you could have long-term consequences of it. So it's kind of sucky. I mean, if you can get to a chamber within like 6 or 12 hours, I think usually they usually recover fully from it. If not, there's a chance you might have some long-term effects from it, which really sucks. Could also get worse through the night, so I'm kind of feeling sucky at the moment.
If you hear this little sound, that sounds like there's a duck in the room. So he previously was breathing from a mask, but apparently the doctor at the insurance company told us that can only give off 60% of the oxygen that the tank can give. So he has to breathe from a regulator, which you will recognize if you watched the rest, probably the previous part of this video. And he has to hold his nose shut so he is not breathing normal air but only the oxygen, which should then help to clear his body from nitrogen faster. Did I explain that well? Please confirm.
Most cases of decompression illness involve symptoms like fatigue, dizziness, joint and muscle pain, tingling and numbness, similar to what Naick was experiencing. But decompression illness can get worse in the hours after a dive, and can in serious cases even trigger paralysis, neurological problems, and other severe symptoms. We felt stuck out in the middle of nowhere. For all we knew, his condition could get worse, and in any case, if we waited until the morning, probably 24 hours would have passed between his last dive and the time we got to the hospital.
They're still gonna do their best to get us there as soon as possible. Normally, they're gonna turn around the big boat. If it's possible to send us on a speedboat, there is a speedboat here on island number 4 with the Similans. We're currently at island number 8, and they're gonna do that. That would also mean that the people who are still on the boat can continue their trip, do the 2 more dives as planned while we make our way back to mainland on a speedboat. It will also be faster, it will really be better for everyone. But for now, I think you're feeling okay. That's the diving signal. This is the diving signal for all good, I'm okay. And this is the diving signal for not so great. So yeah, but you will be fine. I can make some more bad jokes. I've had some.
Thank you. Ooh. I have to admit, I'm in it for the cookies.
Cheers.
So after a bunch of hours on pure oxygen, it's been what, 4 or 5 hours now.
5 hours.
My symptoms seem to be decreasing, which is pretty good sign. Hopefully it will not get worse again through the night. We would leave around between 5 and 6 when it gets light, so it will be a whole lot of hours before I'll get to hospital.
We stayed up all night watching Netflix like this, until finally at about 6 a.m. in the morning, the Thai Royal Navy arrived with a speedboat to perform a medical evacuation and take us to the mainland. It was a very, very bumpy 1 hour and 15-minute ride. But an ambulance was already waiting for Naick at the dock when we got to land. And at least now we were really on our way to the hospital. Another 2-hour ambulance ride, and we finally made it to Phuket International Hospital.
How are you feeling? How's the arm?
A bit more painful than just before, but it's alright, I guess.
So they just took a bunch of tests and they took an x-ray.
Yeah.
We're at the SSS Phuket now, which is the hyperbaric chamber where the diving insurance sent us. And we are now awaiting your transfer to the hyperbaric chamber.
Yay, treatment at the hyperbaric chamber.
That basically involves 5 hours of just sitting in a chamber where they're gonna literally crank up the pressure in order to make nitrogen bubbles in his blood smaller again. It looks like a little bit of a bunker. And then lightly lower the pressure so that the bubbles slowly can exit your system. In the process of picking a movie right now to watch. He has to be in the hyperbaric chamber for 5 hours. They have over 1,000 movies apparently, so that's going to be entertaining. So Naick has finished his treatment in the hyperbaric chamber, and we've gotten back to the hotel. We've gotten back to our new hotel, to our hospital, which I have to say, it looks very fancy. I mean, he has to stay overnight just to be sure that everything is fine. He has to go in the hyperbaric chamber again tomorrow. But look at this, I mean, it's a private room. It's just him. Look where I get to sleep. This is super fluffy, and apparently there's a pillow and a blanket down there. And you haven't even seen the bathroom yet. Oh, that's not the bathroom. I mean, this is a lot better than most hostels we've stayed at. There's a nice flat screen TV over here. And of course, let's not forget about the patient over there, who looks a lot better.
Hi there. Yeah, I'm feeling a lot better as well. Even though I didn't sleep, I was much tired before. My arm doesn't really hurt anymore. It doesn't feel numb anymore. I feel a lot better.
And I think everyone would agree that he looks a lot better, because when the ambulance came to the hyperbaric chamber is not in this hospital. They drove us there by ambulance. When they came to pick us up, I was sitting on the bed because I just taken like a 2.5-hour nap. I was so tired. And someone came into the room to say that the ambulance was ready. And she was like, "Can you walk?" to me. And I was like, I am not the patient.
You look like a sicko.
Currently, it's 8 p.m. Still on oxygen, but like, the situation is a lot better.
Yeah.
We now know that you're fine.
I also haven't slept in 36 hours, which is also good fun.
Yeah, we didn't sleep at all last night because we knew it could get worse.
And I was on oxygen all night long, and that was the most important thing. That's like the only thing you can do. It's super, super important. It helped a lot, I want to say.
Ham and cheese toast sandwiches from, well, Family Mart, which is similar to 7-Eleven. Ta-da! It's gonna be pretty comfortable, I think.
We were both exhausted, so we slept really well that night. And the next morning, after Naick's second session in the hyperbaric chamber, his condition kept on improving.
Look, both my arms have the same range of... Yeah, I cannot put them back, but... They have the same range of motion again. Because before I could like lift this one up here and this one stopped around here. Now I can go all the way up here. So,
Which is just crazy.
magic.
And more good news, we're being discharged from the hospital.
Yep.
Oh.
But I still have these things where they used to monitor my heart rate with because it was a bit on the lower side.
And I
Which is
don't...
normal for me. But I need to get them off, and I'm a very hairy person, and this is a hairy situation.
Very hairy, so I'm just gonna...
Works best like that. I think there are 4.
3, 2...
Fuck you.
I love this part.
Come on, get it over with.
Oh, I'm terribly sorry.
No, you're not. Let me try this one outside.
Okay, okay. Go on too, so you don't suspect a thing. Alright. Gonna have to leave our little room here. If we're being completely honest here, I wasn't like that excited when they told us we could leave, because this is a lot better than the average hostel room that we stay in.
So I have to come back tomorrow for a checkup and maybe another treatment depending if there's any symptoms or not. I suspect probably there will be. But yeah, so I have to come back tomorrow around 11 o'clock.
So we have to stick around here.
I've been happy to stay here. It's a nice room, it's a nice bed.
So thinking of booking 2 nights in a very fancy looking hotel, actually. Well, very fancy by our standards. I mean, we're in this room and we're like, ooh. A hotel that has a swimming pool, private double room for 26 euros, and it's just 20 meters down the street, which is very convenient since I'm going to have to be the one carrying all of our luggage for now. Since he still has some, well, you don't...
I still have one arm left.
Yes, but no, you can't do that.
No?
I asked the guy at the decompression chamber thing. He says you can't do it until everything returns to normal, and then you have to wait a little bit.
That's going to be a long time until everything returns to normal.
Without a single doubt. The human sandwich strikes again. I'm first gonna take the big bags out to the hotel, because I don't want to injure myself. I mean, we are at the perfect spot for that to happen. We are at the hospital, so it wouldn't be the worst place, but then I'm gonna take Naick and the 2 small bags to go to the hotel, so see you in a jiffy. It's that way, right? That way.
That way. Left and then left. Alright, we made it into our room. Look at that.
Next day, we are going to head out of here and move to Krabi, where we should have been a few days ago.
Yeah.
We basically spent the rest of yesterday trying to get all of our stuff sorted, calling insurance multiple times.
We're booking our flights because I cannot fly within 72 hours, so we were supposed to fly tomorrow actually.
Yeah.
But I can only fly on Sunday, so we rebooked our flights on Sunday. Insurance is normally covering that, so it shouldn't be at an extra cost to us.
Just to show you how important travel insurance can be, 1 hour in a hyperbaric chamber, and he did 10, is over 780 euros. So if we hadn't had travel insurance, this little stint easily would have cost us 10,000 euros.
At least.
including like the hospital bills.
Probably more.
We read online in an article that only 3 or 4 out of every 10,000 dives that take place actually result in decompression illness. So he was pretty unfortunate, especially since nothing actually went wrong underwater. But in things like this, it's usually a lot of very small things that just add up until one of them.
But also somebody said to me that probably what contributed a lot as well was like, because it was rough weather and you had to climb out of the water every time on the ladder while the boat was smacking up and down, might have caused like a small strain in my shoulder, and probably that made it more susceptible to decompression sickness. And then on top of that, some of the factors like being out of shape, being overweight.
And also, like for example, I mean, we did a lot of dives. Obviously, the first day we did 4, the second day we did 5. The third day you only did 2 in the end. But we were set to do another 4. You build up a lot of nitrogen in your body over that time. I don't think we'll be doing 5 dives a day again. At least not for you in any case, because maybe you're a little more susceptible to it. Gave us quite a scare because we couldn't get off the boat like straight away, and you never know how bad it's gonna get.
Yeah, that was the most annoying part. I wasn't too worried about the symptoms at that time, but like I was more worried like what if it gets worse. And I mean, worst case, people end up pretty bad from this. I mean, obviously also very far away from that, but
it's still
when
scary.
you're there on that boat without any help.
Excuse the rant. And if you watched this video all the way to the end, oh my god, thank you. We're sorry it probably wasn't as entertaining as usual, and we hope
I think it was.
Well, yeah, but quite potentially it was. Alright, Ruben.
Enough rambling.
Yes. See you in Krabi. Bye bye. Subscribe for more diving accidents coming to you soon.